always on this channel, I'm on the lookout for affordable devices that can do everything most users need, which can be a challenge sometimes because while we have a lot of great gadgets out there, some of them are packed with features that aren't for everyone. That's why I love devices just like the new Pixel 6a from Google. It can do most of what we love about its higher-end siblings at a more affordable price point. Hi, I'm MICHAELJOSH, your gadget matchmaker, and over the last decade, I've made it my job to show people around the world that tech can be easy, fun, and exciting. On this channel, I give you special access to the products I review, the events I attend, and all the exciting people I get to meet along the way. And most importantly, I help you find the right gadget to match your needs. Today, I'm here to help you figure out if you need the Pixel 6 or 6 Pro, or if you're better off saving some money and just getting the new Pixel 6a instead. It's been 5 years since Google started making its own phones. A much welcome move considering Google also makes Android. So you can think of Pixel phones as the device that offers the Android experience that Google has intended. I've loved Pixels for their exclusive software features and industry-leading cameras. But like most high-end phones, they were usually pricey. That was of course until a few years ago when Google announced the Pixel 3a, a more affordable version of the Pixel. And as is always with a device like this, the questions usually are, what did they take away to make it cheaper? Can I live without those features? And am I good, or should I just spend a little extra to get the next model up? So this is the new Pixel 6a. As you can see, it looks just like the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. After many years of bland designs, I'm glad that Google settled on a look for the Pixel, one that's uniquely theirs. One that you want to keep picking up because it's so pretty. They all have the two-tone look, separated by a black camera bar, which, because of its different camera system, doesn't protrude as much. I have the Sage Pixel 6a, but it's also available in chalk and black. This glossy glass finish is actually polycarbonate, unlike the glass that's on these two. But in the hand, it doesn't feel less premium. It's still got that high gloss finish and slightly curved back edges that fit comfortably in the palm. I don't want to beleaguer the point, but let's take a look at the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5a. After years of looking like that, let's just say I am more than thrilled that the Pixel 6a looks like this. It's a win for Google and a win for Pixel fans. Where Pixel fans might not be as happy is that after keeping it for many years, the headphone jack on the Pixel A series is gone. Right, so now that we've approved of its makeover, what about its insides? How good of a phone is the Pixel 6a? Don't worry, we'll get to that answer in a bit, but first, if you like what you've seen so far, then maybe you can give this video a like or a comment, and if you love content like this, hitting subscribe would go a long way to getting us to our next milestone. Now, before we talk about what it can and cannot do, let's get some perspective first. How much more affordable really is the Pixel 6a? In the US, it retails for $449, so it's $150 less than the Pixel 6 and $450 less than the Pixel 6 Pro. Its closest Android rival is probably Samsung's mid-range Galaxy A53 5G, which was $450, but is now $350 with discounts. Some might also compare it with Apple's iPhone SE, which is $429. In 2022, anything under $500 is a steal as long as it can deliver on the essentials. Which takes us to our next chapter. I think the most important thing to point out here is the SoC, or the chip that runs the new Pixel 6a. Most companies usually give cheaper phones a less superior processor. Take, for example, Samsung's Galaxy S22, which in some markets runs its own Exynos 2200 SoC. Their mid-range A53 runs the inferior Exynos 1280. Google also did this in the past with the 3 and 3A, 4 and 4A, and 5 and 5A, but last year they debuted their own system on a chip, similar to what Apple does, making custom chips to run their own hardware and software. And so, long story short, one of the headline features of the Pixel 6a is that just like the pricier Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, it runs the same Google-designed Tensor chip. That means whether you're playing games, editing video clips for TikTok, or needing some of that neural processing required for some of the Pixel's exclusive features, this phone is just as powerful. The main difference is in the area of RAM, or memory, which among many things is handy when you're multitasking. The Pixel 6a has 6 gigabytes, the Pixel 6 has 8, and the Pixel 6 Pro has 12 gigabytes of RAM. While we're talking about specs, because of their size differences or different sized casings, you also get bigger batteries depending on the Pixel 6 model that you choose. So notice at 4,410 milliamp hours, the Pixel 6a has the smallest one of the bunch. Still, Google promises the same 24-hour battery life as it does the other two. And I wouldn't worry as much because in my week testing out the phone, I got about a full day with heavy use. Like the other two, Google follows industry trends and does not include a fast charger in the box, but any USB-C charger will work. But the phone doesn't support fast charging, which guaranteed a 50% charge in 30 minutes. On the 6a with Google's optional 30-watt charger, I got to 50% in 43 minutes instead. A full charge took 1 hour and 50 minutes. I think one area that might give you pause is wireless charging. Unlike the 6 and 6 Pro, which support fast wireless charging, the Pixel 6a does not support wireless charging. So if you've invested in some wireless chargers, if that's something that you use a lot, then it's something that you might want to consider, but I don't think it's going to affect a lot of folks just yet. While we're on the subject, one nifty feature on the Pixel 6a is something called adaptive charging. For those of us who leave our phones charging overnight. I know all of us want fast charging, but one area where it can go slow is when we're about to go to bed. And while fast charging is great and all, sometimes a slow trickle is best for our phone's battery health. Adaptive charging will give you a trickle charge, but it will just keep in mind when your phone needs to be full by taking into account your alarm schedule. Like I alluded to earlier, the 6a is the smallest of the 6 series at 6.1 inches. That said, it's still not a small phone like, say, the iPhone 13 mini. I personally think it's a great size, especially if you have an aversion to large phones. In terms of refresh rates, the Pixel 6a has a 60 Hz panel versus 90 and 120 Hz on the 6 and 6 Pro respectively. Faster refresh rates means more buttery smooth scrolling, and it's great once you've tried it. But we've lived happily for many years with a 60 Hz display on phones, so this is a feature you can probably skip if you want to save some buckaroos. In terms of the type of glass used, the Pixel 6a also cuts some corners. Instead of the newer, tougher Gorilla Glass Victus, it uses Gorilla Glass 3 instead. I know all of these display compromises might not sound enticing, but I'm here to tell you that all of these specs notwithstanding, none of them detract from the experience. It's still a great phone to use, whether you're watching videos, strolling through your social media feeds, and playing games. And it's decently bright, even outdoors on sunny days like this one. Oh, by the way, built in underneath the display is a fingerprint scanner for unlocking the phone, and in my tests, it was fast and responsive. If the smaller camera bump is any indication, the Pixel 6a's camera system is not as advanced as those on the 6 and 6 Pro. In fact, it's got a similar camera setup as last year's Pixel 5a. And while new hardware is always welcome, it's worth pointing out that for many years, Pixel phones didn't change their camera hardware, but still got significant improvements every year thanks to software and machine learning improvements. The Pixel 6a has 2 cameras. The wide camera is the one that you'll probably use most often, while the ultra-wide angle camera is for when you want to shoot landscapes that you are very close to. As can be seen in these examples, the Pixel 6a is no slouch, producing beautiful, vibrant photos. And now with Tensor, video gets improvements too, so you can shoot 4K video with HDR+ processed live on the device. Like on the rest of the Pixel 6 series, you also get features like Magic Eraser to remove unwanted people or objects from the background of your photos, and Real Tone, which renders skin tones of all colors and shades more naturally and accurately. And like the Pixel 6 Pro, you don't get a zoom lens. So if you want to zoom in on subjects, you'll have to do that digitally. But Google makes up for it by enhancing these photos using software magic. I guess one area where you'll notice the biggest difference between the Pixel 6a versus the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro's cameras is in terms of low light photography. As you can see from these comparison shots, these devices perform better in dimly lit situations or when there's hardly any available light. That said, the Pixel 6a's photos are still very usable, so it's not like you cannot do night photography. Of course, it won't be a Pixel without Pixel exclusive features. Features that are not just gimmicky, but actually pretty useful. For example, I often dilly-dally a chore when I know it involves calling a hotline. Let's try calling DoorDash now. Your Pixel will show you projected wait times for the rest of the week. It will even transcribe those automated messages for you so you don't have to actively listen when it reads them out. And with Hold for Me, when you're put on hold, you can go back to what you were doing and your Pixel will let you know when hold is over. The Pixel is also excellent at transcribing speech. So whether I'm dictating a note via the Recorder app, using interpreter mode in Translate, or just using voice typing in Messages, it does the job well. So, is the Pixel 6a your gadget match? Just like the phones that came before it, the Pixel 6a is still the best device for folks who want an affordable Android smartphone. And it's especially true this time around thanks to its high-end Tensor chip from Google and more premium-looking design. Apart from that, you're also getting Pixel-exclusive Android features, 3 years of guaranteed Android updates, and 5 years of guaranteed security updates. My only complaint is probably availability, as the Pixel isn't readily available in many countries around the globe. Here's to hoping that is addressed by Google very soon. Having said that, here in the US especially, there's really nothing quite like the Pixel 6a at its price point. I highly recommend the Pixel 6a, and it comes with a GadgetMatch seal of approval. And that was our Google Pixel 6a review. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, you know the drill, folks. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so that you get notified as soon as we post new videos. Follow me on social media for all the behind-the-scenes fun stuff, and for news and updates, make GadgetMatch.com your daily habit. Until the next video, I'm MICHAELJOSH. Thanks for dropping by.